what are your thoughts when you do get injured, and how do you overcome them?
Bro, it's tough. It's one of the hardest obstacles that I've faced in my life. Being in a position to grasp that goal that I've set at the pinnacle for myself, and being right there about to reach it, and then having something hinder and take you away from that, like an injury, it sucks. You know, it kind of put me into a depression when I first went through my first major injury, and that was my senior year of college when I tore my ACL. And that was my year where I was kind of set up to make it into the NFL and hopefully get drafted. And had these big plans. And that game was the first game of my senior year playing against Northwestern. It was the fourth quarter. By the fourth quarter, I had like 7 catches for like 150 yards, doing my thing. And I ran down on kickoff and tore my ACL. And that was it. You know, my season was over. You know, so being faced with my first injury that was going to get me to where I really wanted to go, my end goal, was tough. I kind of went into a depression, and I luckily had people there to help me get back on my feet. It took some time, but I got back. And then when I got into the NFL and finally made it, I had some more major injuries. Like I said, it was the toughest time for me in my life, the toughest thing that I faced in my life. But at the same time, I've witnessed other people who've been through what I've been through with injuries in the NFL, and they've came back and accomplished big things. So I've always kind of put that in perspective, like, hey, yeah, injuries suck, but you can always come back. You know what I mean? You can always get back. You just got to work for it. And that's where the work ethic applies. I just worked my ass off after I got hurt, kept on pushing myself. You know, days where I didn't want to get out of bed because my knee hurt or my ankle was bothering me after surgery, I would get up, you know, and go work and do something, and continued as I got better to work even harder to get back and reach that goal that I set for myself.
That's so sick.
Yeah.
That's it. Well, you were saying that, you know, it was very depressing for you, especially that first injury. And you had people with you to get back on your feet, but what were they doing or saying? Or what was like the habits that you went through to try to get back onto your feet with it? Like, what were you telling yourself? What were your mantras?
I'm not going to lie, man. I told myself I was done. I wasn't going to play football. I was like, I'm done. Right after I tore my ACL and had my ACL surgery, and then I ended up having a blood clot, had to have surgery again a month later, and then I had to have another surgery on my knee 2 weeks later to clear out some more scar tissue.
God damn.
At that point, I was like, yo, there's no way I'm coming back. My career's finished. And it took me a good 9-10 months to feel good enough to start running and cutting and all that stuff again. And but before I got back to that, I had, like I said, my 2 other brothers, they're always in my ear. They're always pushing me. So I had them, you know, telling me, hey, you should quit. You should at least try, give it a shot. Because if you don't, you know, you're going to regret it. You only have this small window to try to play football, try to make it to the professionals, and try to be, you know, make something out of it. So I remember, I think it was like a month after, right after that second surgery on my knee, like a week later, I was doing little things like taking a gray band and kind of doing like toe flexes, trying to get my calf back and trying to get my quad acting, my VMO acting, and just things like that, like little things that, you know, most people who don't play sports and tear their ACLs aren't doing, or people that do play sports and tear their ACL and they're just being lazy don't do. You know, I was just trying to be a step ahead and trying to make sure that I can recover as fast as I could from my ACL. And I mean, at first it was tough for me, but having both my brothers there telling me that I should be trying to make it and keep working hard, that helped me. That helped me get my mind back to what it was before.